everyone, I'm Caro Herrera, the Mental Traveler, and I welcome you to this video in which I will be talking about Somewhere in Time, both the book by Richard Matheson and its movie adaptation. The novel was published in 1975 under the beautiful title Time Return, and the film, which came out 5 years later, stars Christopher Reeve, Jane Seymour, Christopher Plummer, and it's considered by many to be a cult classic. I believe there are even some fans out there who dress up and go to the movie locations each year and have these really cool conventions and stuff. And just one more thing before I begin, this shall be a video without spoilers. I was first introduced to this story one day many years ago when I was looking for something to watch at Blockbuster. I saw the film cover and it looked interesting and I liked the actors, and I decided to try out since from a very early age it's always been clear to me that my favorite stories are those that are period dramas and really romantic. Somewhere in Time promised these things and it definitely delivered them. I soon bought the movie and I have rewatched it countless times since. Then I wanted to read the book it was based on, and for years I couldn't find it. Last week though I finally did and I read it, and so here I am. The protagonist is Richard Collier, a playwright of moderate success. He lives around the 70s, I think. When we are first introduced to him in the book, he has just been told by a doctor that he has just a couple of months before he dies. In the movie, this doesn't happen. He's just this person trying to find a meaning to life, and in both cases, one day he ends up in this really old hotel in which he decides to stay for a couple of days. At one point, Richard is walking around the hotel and he stumbles upon its hall of history, and inside that room, his life changes forever. He sees this photograph of a stage actress called Elise McKenna, a young, beautiful woman who lived at the start of the 20th century in the film. In the book, she lived at the end of the 19th century, and Richard falls in love with her at once. His feelings are so strong that without giving too much away about how it happens, Richard finds himself traveling back through time so he can meet this actress whom he believes to be his soulmate, and you'll have to figure out later what happens. Many things stand in Richard's path to find happiness, both in the book and in the film. Can't really choose between the book and the film. I give both of them a 5 out of 5 stars review. I mean, I guess the novel is better in the way most books are, but I'm just so familiarized with the film and I can't dismiss its worth and the impact it had on my life. So I'll just say that they're both excellent and I recommend them, even though I should warn you, Somewhere in Time isn't a story for everyone. I'm sure many would find it unrealistic and really corny, but I enjoy it. It's set around my favorite time in history, at least in the film, the first 20 years of the 20th century. And for example, even in the book when the protagonist seems to be a little bit of a stalker, I was sort of buying the story, so I don't really have a problem with it. I should say though too that the story takes place in a time span of about a week, so in a way it does make sense that Richard has to feel these really strong emotions in so short a period of time, seeing as there was a time limit here. I think though that, at least in the book, one of my favorite things was the way the author managed to bring home the fact that many women in earlier centuries were sexually repressed, because even though if they found love and they were worried about surrendering to their emotions because maybe that would make their partners think that they were being forward. So yeah, anyways, I love this story not only because I adore history, but because it can also translate to many modern day situations, putting emphasis on how a woman's life isn't always easy on this regard. And I also thought that the ending for both the novel and the film is very realistic, even though it's a little different in both cases. I guess this is all I have to say for Somewhere in Time at the moment. I shall keep my fingers crossed that you enjoyed it, but it'd be really cool if you could tell me if you liked the video or you didn't, if you enjoyed the film or the book, why don't you? I just want you to share your thoughts about the story with me. In the description box below you can find links to the Goodreads page for the book as well as a link to the IMDb page for the movie. I'm really grateful that you watched my review for Somewhere in Time or Time Return. Thank you very much. I'm Caro Herrera, the Mental Traveler. Take care. Goodbye.